I don't know how to try this case, Your Honor. Imagine sitting in a courtroom and hearing the lawyer who you are paying say, I don't know how to try this case, Your Honor. Donald Trump heard his lawyer say that in the opening minutes of the case of E. Jean Carroll versus Donald J. Trump in federal court today in New York. Federal Judge Lewis Kaplan had ruled against the Trump lawyers in a series of objections with quick one-word rulings, overruled repeatedly. When every one of the Trump lawyers' pretrial objections was overruled, attorney Alina Habba said, I don't know how to try this case, Your Honor. To which,
if you've been watching me for more than a little while, you know that I absolutely love Alina Habba. She's sharp, she's self-made, she's unapologetic, she's the daughter of immigrants. I mean, she's literally everything that the left claims to love and claims to stand for. Yet, she's everything that they can't help themselves but to hate. Never fails, never fails. But what I really, really like about her, she's not afraid to go into battle. And this, of course, is probably a really large part of why the leftist judge in the Trump defamation case thought that he had to essentially silence her. And of course she complied because she has ethics and it's a courtroom. She really had no choice. But once she got out of the courtroom, it's on.
No. I'm glad you asked me that question. No, I'm not having any second thoughts about representing President Trump. It is the proudest thing I could ever do. What I am having second thoughts about is the license that I stand here with that the people in there are supposed to have.
What a goofy question, man. Do you regret representing President Donald Trump? Just think of that question for just a second. I mean, from the perspective of the reporter. These reporters, I believe, really do envision a world where no one would even dare represent like whatever defendant the woke revolutionaries have decided is canceled or unworthy or whatever language it is that they want to use, right? They just want to turn him into a lone exiled defendant left to fight the machine all by themselves. That's what they want. I mean, just think about how far we've come since John Adams. I mean, how far we've fallen since John Adams is probably a better way to put it. John Adams, one of the fathers of this country, came to the defense of British soldiers charged and tried for murder of Americans during the Boston Massacre. And the reporters were kind of like this back then too, but when they asked about it later in life, he said it was one of the most gallant, generous, manly, and disinterested actions of my whole life, and probably one of the best pieces of service I ever rendered to my country. Just think about that. Just think about that. And think about how far gone those days really are. And I'm sure our establishment media would probably be attacking John Adams just this very, very same way.
I have not spoken because I respect my ethics while I'm on trial. But let me now speak about what has happened. I have sat on trial after trial for months in this state, the state of New York. Attorney General Letitia James, and now this. Weeks. Why? Because President Trump is leading in the polls, and now we see what you get in New York. So don't get it twisted, whoever asked me that question. I am so proud to stand with President Trump. But I am not proud to stand with what I saw in that courtroom. I'm not finished. Let me just finish and I'll take questions, please. Before I walked into court, that judge decided that every single defense President Trump had, we were not allowed to raise in front of the jury. It is in writing, and I encourage the journalists, the real journalists, to take the minute to look at his orders. There was no proof. And I couldn't prove that she didn't bring in the dress. There was no DNA. There was no expert. My experts were denied. Two of them were denied to come in. They didn't let me bring up that Reid Hoffman funded Miss Kaplan. And you know what we got in there? That my witness, who was her friend, who said that she is a drug addict and the drug addict is herself. That friend, I found out in there, was paid for by Miss Kaplan's firm, and that is disgusting. That is a violation of everything I stand for, and that is why I stand with Trump. And that is why so many Americans are so proud that he is running again and so excited to run to the ballot box. But don't get it twisted. We are seeing a violation of our justice system. Ladies and gentlemen, You are not allowed to be stripped of every defense that you have. You are not allowed to be told that you can't bring it up. And imagine a point where a judge tells the lawyer, before your client, the former president of the United States, the leading candidate and obvious nominee for the Republican Party, before he takes the stand to defend himself, Ms. Habba, tell me the questions you're going to ask in open court and tell me exactly what he's going to respond. And then edited my questions, edited the response he was allowed to give. And guess what my client did? He took the stand. He abided by the rules of this corrupt system that I have seen. We will immediately appeal. We will set aside that ridiculous jury. And I just want to remind you all of one thing. I will continue with President Trump to fight for everybody's First Amendment right to speak. Everybody's a right to defend themselves when they are wrongfully accused and to be able to say, I didn't do it. And to double and triple and quadruple down and say, this is wrong. This is wrong. But we are in the state of New York. We are in a New York jury, and that is why we are seeing these witch hunts, these hoaxes, as he calls them. And this is another one of them. Be brought in New York, in states where they know they will get juries like this. It will not deter us. We're fighting. And I assure you, we didn't win today, but we will. The record that was made in there and the behavior I saw in there, some of which was reported widely today, gave us the most perfect record on appeal. And even if I needed it, which I don't, we were stripped of every defense, every single defense before we walked in there. And I am proud to stand with President Trump because he showed up, he stood up, he took the stand, and he faced this judge. And you know what? I'll continue to do so with him. Yes.
Ms. Habba, is the former
Of course, I've spoken with the president.
Ms. Habba, is the former president scared now of the consequences of his actions?
The former president does not live his life in fear, as you've seen every single day. The former president and probably future president will continue to fight for Americans. Thank you very much, everybody.
This woman is on fire, man. Don't get it twisted, she says. I mean, the only thing she says she regrets is the mockery that these people are making of the justice system. And really, when you look at it, that is exactly what it is. That is not hyperbole, to quote Joe. You know, whether you're talking about civil fraud trial that they used an insane amount of legal tricks, you know, evaluation for the entire campus of Mar-a-Lago at $18 million, or this case, you know, which was just another bite in the ass of a guy that was accused by a person who lied about the dress, lied about the dressing room, lifted an entire story off of a episode of Law and Order, couldn't remember the month, the season, the year, the date of the alleged incident, and none of that information was allowed into court. So honestly, no matter what side you're on, no matter how weak or how powerful you are, this all should scare the hell out of literally everyone. If they can do this kind of thing to a president, they can do it to anyone they want. I mean, the good news is it's all on the record. You know, it's all coming back on appeal, or it should. I mean, just the fact that the judge edited and scripted the defense questions and answers really should be enough. But who knows? Crazier things have happened lately into Trump. But, you know, there's more. You know, there's always more. And they're not stopping. You know, nothing they've done here is on the up and up. Not one of their cases are clean. And I keep saying it, man, but if the guy really is that bad, if the guy really is that evil, that dangerous, then why can you not fight him fair? Why do you have to keep manufacturing and embellishing and mischaracterizing? Why not just fight fair within the rules? But anyway, that's just my take, guys. Let me know yours in the comments. And if you haven't already, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, share the channel. See you in the next one.